My name is Tony Litt. I'm the MD of Sunrise Radio, and it's my immense pleasure to bring you the official Sunrise Radio podcast. We are the #1 commercial Asian station in the United Kingdom, with many firsts to our name, and we continue to be the voice of British Asians who have given us their love and loyalty over 30 years. It's a legacy we cherish and a responsibility that we don't take lightly. Our aim has always been to entertain the listeners with the best of Bollywood and Bhangra, while also addressing their concerns. A real voice for the community, a vibrant community, and a great nation. We are proud to be British and Asian. This podcast is a compilation of some of the things we do on the station, with a stellar lineup of presenters who each have their own personality and style. It's entertaining, informative, engaging, and we hope you will enjoy it here as a podcast if you are unable to tune in to the radio. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your family and friends about this podcast. And do leave us a comment on what you think. We'd love to hear from you. All the best always. Team Sunrise.
The UK's biggest station mix. Sunrise Radio.
Hey, my name is Shabnam Sahi. Welcome to the official Sunrise Radio podcast. I'm on your radio weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. If you've heard the show, you know what to expect from it. But here are some exciting, interesting Bollywood stories that you may have missed. This time round, served up as part of our official Sunrise Radio podcast. Enjoy. We know about the famous female directors and screenwriters in Bollywood, the ones who are constantly on social media, the ones who might be star kids, the ones who are written about. But a recent compilation shone a light on some of the lesser known women in Bollywood. These women have fought very hard. They have fought tirelessly to make a name in a male-dominated profession like Bollywood. Now, they may only be known to the inner circle, and they may not be splashed across glossies or indeed on social media, but their contribution towards making women's voices heard and changing perceptions, that is immense. Now, let us see how many of these women you actually know. I'm ashamed to say I hadn't heard of any of them. Now, we start with writer, director, producer Aruna Raje. Now, I know Bollywood has loads of writer-directors, Zoya, Meghna, Alankrita, Reema Kagti, loads of them. But we're talking about one of the first technicians in the film industry. And you know what? Ironically, she was actually a gold medalist at FTII, which is the Film and Television Institute of India. Aruna Raje, she says that I faced a lot of challenges as a filmmaker. Men don't like to take orders from women. That's it, full stop. This is a very common thing in society, so why should Bollywood be any different? I had to work 1,000,000 times harder than my ex-husband Vikas Raje, who was also in the business of filmmaking. But you know what? Once the crew realized that I knew my job, that I wasn't cutting corners, that I had done my prep, that is when they were willing to give me their time and their respect. But it took me a very long time to get there. Then we've got another phenomenal lady, Reshma Pathan. Anyone heard of Reshma Pathan? She's a stunt woman in Bollywood. She says that decades ago, male fighters would dress up as actresses to perform stunts and they would get paid double for it. So with my arrival, they were very unhappy. These men tried to discourage me and they said that, look, if you get injured while performing a stunt, nobody's going to marry you. Huh? She said, I just ignored them and I kept doing my thing. But after much conflict, they realized that I was here to stay. And she says directors didn't trust me because, you know, they were like, you are a female at the end of the day. Will you be able to do this? But my work spoke volumes. And she says that risky stunts to this day are not performed by the actors because an injury can delay their future projects, right? So now there are quite a few of us, but when I started, not a chance. Some not so well-known women who work in Bollywood behind the scenes and remain largely unknown and uncelebrated. Producer Dipti Jindal. Now, Dipti Jindal says that I started with Ram Gopal Verma's production house. There were only male ADs, assistant directors there, just 2-3 of us. And she says that although Ramu himself didn't have a bias because he had hired us, but the seniors always felt कि यार ये आजकल की बच्चियां हमको production सिखाएंगी, huh? Then she says that on the sets, the crew used to feel कि यार इसे तो कुछ आता नहीं है, right? And she says that, you know, we were caught in a strange dilemma. If we put our foot down and if we wanted to get the work done, they would call us names. That is when I decided that I'd much rather do my job properly and be called names behind my back, I don't care, than give up what I had set out to do. Then she says things started changing for me in 2009 when I joined the team of Anjana Anjani with Sajid Nadiadwala sir. That is when suddenly I was was given a lot of freedom, but I was still uncomfortable. Why? Because I know that the male ego is extremely fragile. Lightman, spot boy, forget the actor. These people would refuse to take orders from you on set. But then you know that you have to somehow make things work. The onus is on us to make things work. Because if you rub people the wrong way, they're not going to just give their best to the film, which is what ultimately you want. Upasana Chetri is another AD, assistant director. She says, I started as an AD, but I had a big struggle. Initially people would say that, oh, you're so beautiful. Why don't you come to our house for dinner and we'll discuss? Huh? She says, you know where this conversation is headed. So you have to be very strong if you're working in the technical department in Bollywood. She says, then I started getting calls, हाँ ठीक है आप assistant director तो बन सकते हैं लेकिन costume कर लीजिए आप, हाँ? Actually, you are a woman, you only know about costumes. So she says that today, I have come to a point where I call the shots on set. Well, people trust me. Directors trust me to execute their vision. I still face a lot of discrimination. My fight isn't over yet. But you know what? I'd like to think that I've made it a little bit easier for any other girl who fancies being an AD, an assistant director in Bollywood. This is the most exciting piece of news or gossip I heard on the weekend, and it feels apt to be sharing it on International Women's Day. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara 2 is set to be in the pipeline. Now, after the Akhtar, Zoya and Farhan realized how iconic this one was. It was a romance, it was a road trip, a celebration of friendship which comes with its own challenges and LOL moments. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara 2 is expected to be co-written by Zoya and Farhan, but this time round directed by Farhan. And this time it is 3 girls, 3 women who set out to have some fun, to see the world, while at the same time dealing with their own demons. Now, कहते हैं कि casting is still underway, but Alia Bhatt is said to be unofficially on board. In fact, expect all the A-listers in Bollywood to lobby for the other 2 characters as well. But you know what? These Akhtars, they don't do anything half-heartedly. They will only roll when first and foremost the script is completely to their liking. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara 2 has full potential to be as loved, as celebrated as the film जिसका गाना आपने अभी सुना. 6 years ago, in 2015, the 9th of March was a Monday. I know that. Puchiye kyun? Because it was my first day back on Sunrise Radio. It was the first day of my second innings. I remember when I moved to this country, nearly about 20 years ago now, I joined Sunrise, and then I took a decade off, raising 2 kids and doing a bit of television, writing a book, doing this, that. And then on the 9th of March, Monday the 9th of March 2015, I was back here. So much has happened in these 6 years. I remember when I came back, we were still in the old building, the iconic building in South Hall. Now, of course, we are in these swanky new studios in Hounslow. We've been here for a while. When I came back 6 years ago, we were still a London station. Since then, we've gone national. And of course, we used to still use Radiomation. Who remembers that? Now, of course, we have this very, very swanky software that I like to think of as Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's called Zeta, I believe. But you know what? There's one thing that hasn't changed, and I think it hasn't changed over the last 25 years that I've been a broadcaster, since I started in India. And it is the fact that I consider this a tremendous blessing that my job doesn't feel like a job. And you know who's responsible for it? You are. All the love, all the encouragement, all the support that I have got from family and friends, of course, from my MD, my friends and colleagues here, absolutely. Also, I never fail to acknowledge the lovely Pam Sandhu. She went off on maternity leave 6 years ago, and that is how I came in. But of course, most of all, my listeners, you make the ride worthwhile. Thank you so much. Now, let's come back to Badla, should we? Taapsee Pannu, she took a moment to mark 2 years of this crime thriller with director Sujoy Ghosh, jiska gaana aapne abhi suna. Now, this was the remake of a Spanish thriller. Do you remember? The Spanish film was called Contratempo, The Secret Guest, and this was dubbed Badla, Revenge. Now, a relatively niche film. Nothing with Amitabh Bachchan in the cast can be called niche, I know, but you know what I mean. A film where the punch lies in the plot, the story, not in the song and dance and other embellishments that Bollywood is so fond of. In that sense, niche. Badla released in 2019 and it raked in almost 100 crores at the box office, which was deemed a big success. With Taapsee Pannu and Bachchan Sr. in the lead as client and defense lawyer who feel nothing but a deep sense of distrust for each other, Badla also had Amrita Singh and Tony Luke in pivotal roles. Now, you know what? Crime fiction as a genre that makes money for the producers. This is finally coming of age in Bollywood. Lekin increasingly, if you have noticed, Bollywood remakes also feel the need to add their own masala and tadka, twist ke upar twist, for added excitement, which may or may not always work. I'm thinking of A Girl on the Train, of course. Achhi khasi ek kahani, such a well-written crime thriller you get not only in book form but also as a Hollywood film. Those are your reference points. What do when you make a remake in Bollywood? Hi, that is not enough, yaar. We need to add a bit more excitement. And you add something which is completely at odds with the rest of the story. If somebody has read the book and seen the Hollywood film, you know what I'm talking about. In that case, why call it The Girl on the Train? You should have called it The Girl Who Missed the Train. Second innings की ना बात ही कुछ और होती है. That is when you've had a few years in a profession that you have chosen. You know how it's going to pan out. Then you've got kids and all of that out of the way. They are fairly grown up, fairly independent. You've got a support structure at home. I certainly do. I have to say a massive thank you to my husband here. And, you've got certain things going. So when you make a comeback and you come back to something that you once loved and something that was once your life, I think it is with a slightly different perspective. I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to let Bobby Deol explain it. Bobby Deol is enjoying the best phase of his career right now. He retreated into his shell some years ago when good roles dried up. Bobby Deol slowly came back to his first love, acting with films like Race 3, mostly on the request of friends like Salman Khan, who felt that Bobby still had a lot to offer. Lekin Bobby Deol's finest moments in recent years, they have all been on digital. From Class of 83 to Ashram, fans and critics are mostly impressed with Bobby's rather relaxed and measured approach to his craft. Have you noticed? And totally accepting that analysis, believing in that analysis, Bobby Deol khud kehte hain ki, this chilled out vibe, this Tehrav. It comes with age and it comes with experience. When you're not chasing numbers at the box office, when you have nothing to prove to anyone else but to yourself, when you have found your own groove, your own beat as a performer, it totally liberates you. And you begin to relish the process of acting. And then, commenting on an award that he was recently given for his role in Ashram, he says, look, awards have never meant anything to me. You know why? Because I'm the legendary Dharmendra's son. Dharmendra, who won endless love and respect from his fans, who was in so many blockbusters over the decades. But you know what? My dad never won a Best Actor trophy in his life. For him, it was the love of the public. That was his most coveted trophy. There's a brilliant story on how top-notch professionals from careers unrelated to showbiz, engineers, architects, especially those with an artistic flair, they are now flocking to Bollywood to indulge their love of films and use their professional skills, their acumen, to make some money as well. Pots of money, in fact. There was a brilliant story I read the other day about a qualified architect, Khyati Kanchan, who now works as a much sought-after production designer in Bollywood. Khyati Kanchan kehti hain ki there I was an architect, I had my own firm, I was having a lot of fun designing all kinds of homes and holiday homes and things like that, but suddenly I was bitten by the Bollywood bug and I thought, why don't I use my skills to do something for Bollywood? Now, earlier, there wasn't much attention paid to things like set design and costume design and all of that. It was all an in-house thing, right? But now, increasingly, Bollywood has streamlined all these professionals and you have people who are dedicated only to set design, people who are dedicated only to costume, people who are dedicated only to the hero and heroine's costume, even things like that, right? It is that niche. Khyati Kanchan kehti hain ki every day on set is a dream. Now, she says that, we are the people who execute a director's vision by working closely with the set designer. And she says the challenges are immense, but the adrenaline rush is absolutely addictive. We design the physical space where a scene is shot. It can be indoors, it can be outdoors, it can be in India, it can be abroad, it can be on top of a mountain, it can be in a fast-moving train. It is my job to dig up the character's backstory and decide how the set should look. If it is a room, then I have to decide things like furniture kaisa hoga, accessories kaise honge, curtain ka color kaisa hoga, texture, kitna neat, kitna messy, what's on the walls. Everything is down to the production designer. And then she says something fantastic. She says, if you notice my work in a film, then somewhere I have failed. In the sense that when you're actually watching a film, you should be so absorbed by the emotions, by what is actually happening story-wise, that you shouldn't really be looking at the walls. You shouldn't really be looking at the other stuff. So if you notice my work, then I have failed. And I think she is spot on. Immediately, I thought of Kalank. Now, I don't know if you've seen Kalank. Kalank, at least, I mean, everybody, the general consensus is that the film was a disaster because there was no story, absolutely no story. Even though it had Karan Johar's, exuberance, it had beautiful costumes, beautiful songs, great scenery. But I remember watching that, Ki Tumse Juda Ho Ke Hum Tabah Ho Gaye, Madhuri Dixit on the dance floor. This was meant to be a poignant moment in the story. You know, Madhuri's character, Sanjay Dutt's character, meeting after all those years. But because the story is so weak, so diluted, that you end up looking at things like, hi, look at Madhuri's Gagra, so beautiful, yaar. Are look at the mosaic design on the dance floor. Wow. And that chandelier. Kabhi mera dream home mujhe mila na, main to wahi chandelier lagaungi. When you're noticing these things, alarm bells should start ringing in the filmmakers' heads. I hope they did. I want to ask you about a small budget film, but with a stellar cast. It was called Ram Prasad Ki Tervi. How many of you know about this? I think it was doing the film festival circuit and people loved it so much that now it's going to be streaming on Netflix by the end of March. You know, grief, it is a strange emotion. It can often rip families apart, or sometimes it can heal all wounds and bind people together. And reflecting on a family dynamic, specifically the Bhargav family dynamic after the head of the family passes away, actress Seema Pahwa's first directorial titled Ram Prasad Ki Tervi. The Tervi, of course, is a ritual on the 13th day of someone's death, right? After someone's death. Now, this is a masterclass in acting. The ensemble cast includes Nasiruddin Shah, Supriya Pathak, Konkona Sen Sharma, Parambrata Chatterjee, Vinay Pathak, Vikrant Massey, and the director's husband as well, Manoj Pahwa. Ram Prasad Ki Tervi, it streams on Netflix from the end of March, I think from the 31st of March. And if you're into family dramas, I tell you what, you can't miss this. Now, this man, he's known as the actor's actor, the thinking woman's heartthrob, and razor sharp in the way he can pick out stories that audiences, more often than not, fall in love with. And yet, Aamir Khan, he has always maintained that commercial Bollywood has taught him the ropes of the game. Commercial Bollywood is what gave him the time and the space to reflect on what he wanted to do as an actor. All the films that didn't work at the box office, he says, those taught me more than my success stories. And though Aamir Khan sets the benchmark very high, even for himself, he never shies away from a full-on masaledar Bollywood Gana. I mean, his song with Eli Avram, Harfan Mola, in his friend Amin Haji's film, this is likely to set the charts on fire. And fans are so happy to see he's not gone all serious and boring. He's every bit the superstar he was in QSQT, only slightly more mature now.
You can catch Shabnam Sahi, the ultimate storyteller, weekdays 9 a.m. till 12 noon.
The UK's biggest station mix. Sunrise Radio.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sunrise Radio podcast with me, Anushka Arora. So today, seeing as we just celebrated International Women's Day, I thought it'd be really nice for you to hear my chat with Miss India runner-up and daughter of an auto rickshaw driver, Manya Singh. So just a few weeks ago, Manya Singh was crowned runner-up of Miss India this year. In this chat, she talks to me about her struggles and her aspirations. How are you feeling?
Amazing.
How's the last few days been for you? It's been crazy, right?
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it. I've been working hard for this only.
Yeah, I'm sure. So Manya, tell us, this is from the UK. I'm from the UK. I'm from London. So we're Sunrise Radio. And I've been reading your story. It's been amazing. And all of a sudden one day, Manya Singh was everywhere. Like the name is everywhere. And I was like, right, let's speak to Manya and let's get a bit of an idea as to people who haven't heard your full journey. So we'll talk about your winning moment in a moment, but I just want to go beyond that and, just get to know what it took for you to come to where you are today.
I'll start for the first question, that what was the feeling of my crowning when they announced that PLCC Femina Miss India 2020 runner-up, Manya Singh. I was like, okay, that's me. Okay, that's me. Okay, let's go. And in whole the journey, like from the place where we were standing until the crowning moment, I got so many flashbacks, because this is not just 2 or 3 years of dream. This has been like 20 years of dream. And I've been working really hard. I've been working day and night and giving everything. Like I was giving whole mania into it. Like I am going to do just for Miss India, nothing else.
Yeah. Now, Manya, you before this, you were very much like, you went against your parents. They didn't want you to do this. They followed you to Bombay. Tell us about that bit of your journey, because that's quite brave of you to do something like that.
Yes. When I left my home, like at the age of 14, I left my home and I wanted to go beyond the comfort zone. And at 14, the journey has started. Like before 14, I got mature.
Yeah.
But after 14, I become a woman, not a girl. So I knew my responsibilities. I knew my dream, that what I wanted to do. I was very clear in my life. And I was doing everything. I was working in restaurants. I was working in call center. I was working hard towards my education, because I know that my mother and father doing the hard work, the equal hard work which I am doing for my dream. So I knew that I was prioritizing both the work together, like my dream and my education, because I knew that if I'll get educated, I'll have that sense of feeling and the knowledge so that I can speak in front of the people. Yeah. So that was my main motto in my life. And now I've achieved it, but still I'm not settled. That the rest feeling, I am still not satisfied. I know that I have to go a long way. I have to work really hard, because now I am not just a Manya or Miss Uttar Pradesh. Now I am something like people will look up to.
Definitely.
So I'm looking forward that I'll give my best foot forward, and I'll try to make this crown work for me.
Oh, how lovely. How lovely. Manya, like, of course, you come from like a background where even getting an education is like, frowned upon in society or whatever. How did you kind of break those barriers? I know you said that you wanted to come out of your comfort zone, but that takes a lot of guts to do something like that. But I think the end result, we can see that here. But, that's very brave of you to do something like that.
For me, it was kind of difficult. That it was not just about the support and the education. I come from very have your opinion. It is like sinful, because in our family, big people like grandfather, father, husband, we have to follow their decision. If they have decided that you have to become a doctor, you have to study science. And if they have decided that you have to become an engineer, you have to follow that. But for me, I was like from the start, no, I am not going to follow any of the decision. I'm going to decide my own destiny. And I wrote my own quotes, that is, be the master of your own destiny. And I wanted to be that, and I am today. So I will forward this message to whole world, that be the master of your own destiny, no matter where you come from, no matter what you have. Everything is here in your hand. So work hard and go forward.
And what about your family now? Like, what's their reaction? I mean, they must be feeling so proud of you.
Yes, my family are really, they are very happy. They are excited at the same time. They are getting more attention, like more than me. Now people are like, she is auto rickshaws driver. She is Miss India. So that's a great thing, because I'm getting recognized by my father's work. So I'm proud of it.
That's so lovely. How sweet is that? Now, Manya, of course, when often ladies and girls, when they enter pageants like this, I think the next thing that everybody thinks is showbiz, entertainment, Bollywood, Hindi cinema, movies. I mean, is it too early for you to think about something like that? Or have you actually thought of if you want to do it or not?
Ever since I thought that just Miss India, but now I've accomplished it. So in 20s itself, I want to whatever opportunity I'll get in future, I'll definitely grab and I'll give my best, because now I know that whatever I'll do, people will see and people will definitely follow, and I want to leave that legacy behind, that if Manya can do, I can too.
Oh, that's so nice. And if you were offered a film in Hindi cinema, which actor would you just love to work with?
If I'll say, that would be partiality, because every actor works really hard. And I know that whenever we shoot, like Miss India itself, Journey itself, if we wanted to shoot just for 2 minutes, it will take almost half day. I can say full day. So they want perfection. So I know that this takes a very, very hard work. So I would not choose one. I'll definitely, whatever my destiny will have, any actor, I'm going to give my best and I'll show my talent more than him.
And okay, fine. So tell me, which kind of movies are your favorites? Which Hindi movies do you love? And like as a child, what did you like watching growing up?
My most the most favorite movies I have, Maricom, which motivates me along.
Yeah.
Secret Superstar, and we have English Medium.
Yeah, lovely, really nice movies, lovely movies. Now, Manya, going forward in terms of like what's next for you? Like after this step, you've been crowned Miss India World 2021, but like what are the next steps for you, and where do we get to see you?
I am VLCC Femina Miss India 2020 runner-up. So now, whatever future, I've not planned anything. I'm just ready for whatever it will be. I'm going to jump on that, and I'm going to show my confidence, which I have in my backpack. Yeah. And I'll always try to make this worth crown. I will try to make proud everyone. So that's my motto. So let's leave the legacy behind, and that would be my thing. So
that's so nice. And I'm sure you've been keeping really busy doing lots and lots of interviews, I've been seeing. Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm loving this because people are supporting me. People are trying to take my interviews. I'm so excited. I've never thought about that. My story will inspire so many. So I am so grateful for this thing. So yeah, it's going really well, and I'm looking forward for more interviews like this.
And when you come to London, you must come to our studio. You must come and visit us here. We'd love to have you here.
Sure. I'm just praying with God that I'll get those opportunity to go in London, because I've never been international. So yes, I'm praying with God so I'll get this opportunity, and I'll definitely come at your studio.
Oh, I'm so pleased I got to speak to you today. I mean, I've just been seeing your name everywhere. Like everyone, like you said, your story is so inspirational. And like you said, if Manya can do it, then everyone can do this. Anyone can do this. So I think what's one piece of advice that you would give to your fans and anybody watching this who feels maybe sometimes that like they're stuck in doing anything, whatever it is, but not to give up?
You gave the advice, actually.
Don't give up.
I want to give one advice to each and every person, not just a woman or a girl. I want to give this advice to be stubborn for your future, for your passion. Be passionate. And do not give up, because there will be hurdle in your life. There will be something which will stop you behind, which will hold you behind. Just push it everything and just move ahead and work hard. And the most important thing, that believe in yourself. If you will believe in yourself, people will believe in you. So that's most important thing. And wear your confidence like your jewelry and like your skin.
Oh, that's lovely, Manya. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon, all over our TV screens, all over the world, international, global. May you conquer the world, Manya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Listen to our Bollywood queen, Anushka Arora, from 12 noon to 4 p.m. weekdays on Sunrise.
We
we are almost midway through this week's show. Shay is online. Bambi Bains is online as well on Sunrise Radio's Instagram. If you are near a device where your Instagram is live, follow us and find us at This Is Sunrise. Bambi, send me that little request to go live with me and we can bring you straight up. She is on the phone line, but I'd like to do this at the same time if possible. So if Bambi's sending through a request to go live with me, we are about to get into conversation. There it is, about her brand new single, Dunya, with these outstanding visuals that go with the song and, of course, the production by Shay as well. Here we go. She's on the line. Let me bring her up on the phone line anyway. Bambi, kada?
Hey, what's happening, bro?
I'm very well. How are you? Let me turn down make sure your Instagram volume's down to the lowest it can be, yeah? Otherwise we'll get nasty feedback.
Got you.
What is going on?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well.
Life?
Thank you so much for joining us. You are my most return guest on both of my shows here on Sunrise Radio. Number 3 this time. So,
oh, wow.
So welcome back.
God, yeah.
You have literally kept me company over the last 12 months here on Sunrise.
Dude, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, wait. Well, listen, we're going to talk about this brand new single in a second, but congratulations on that. It was released 2 days ago now, on the 4th. We'll talk about the release date in just a second, and I've got a little game that I've concocted to do with the release date as well. So hopefully you're going to play that along with me. You have basically used these last 12 months to your benefit of being locked down. I mean, the most consistent releases, the most development from an artist that I've seen over 12 months as well. How has it been for you?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. I think I finally feel like I've found myself as an artist, as a person. I'm very, very happy to show people what type of artist I am, the real Bambi.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice to put everything that's in my head into visuals and sound. So yeah, I'm over the moon right now.
And it really has. We really have seen that develop, particularly in the last 12 months. Oh Na Na came out. It had a little sample of a recognised R&B song. You kind of went down that flavour. Then we got Retro Rari, which just kind of literally flipped the sound and the look and the vibe and the empowerment as well, which I really enjoyed in that song and that video. But this, Dunya, I mean, is stepping up the game again. You're multilingual, the visuals are all black and white, there's some really strong imagery in it. I mean, what was the vision behind this?
The vision, is just following on from Retro Rari, you know, the whole bad girl, female empowerment theme. I just want to make anthems for women to sing along to and to feel empowered by, and even guys, right? I guess Dunya is a song that's, you know, it's about people who've doubted you your whole life and you feel lack of confidence. And I think because I'm like one of few females in the industry, it's nice to have a female artist have a song that's very hard-hitting and very strong. And
Monday sees International Women's Day as well, which, you know, I always kind of question whether these days are needed, but it's quite nice to have a moment to highlight. And the last time we spoke, you said that you were on the hunt of more female empowerment within the British Asian music industry. And you were talking about trying to champion producers and remixes and other singers and artists. How are you doing with that? Have you found any traction within that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of artists that have really supported everything I've been doing. Everyone's been loving the vibe that I'm on right now, and saying that it's better suited for me, which is a really good thing.
That's great. And you seem to have found a synergy with Shay, the producers. Shayad. He used to be called Shayad. I still haven't clarified. Yeah. So Shay, you seem to have found a synergy with him as well. So how's that working out? Is that going to be a long-term kind of relationship, musical relationship?
I think, yeah, do you know what? When I met Shay, there was never this plan to... It's kind of like having this Timbaland and Aaliyah camp, you know, where they just gelled together and they just continued working and they just made something absolutely phenomenal. And I guess that's kind of how we are. We just really get on. We have the same birthday. We just act the same. Yeah, I'm literally like a female version of him.
Right.
So the vibe and the energy and the connection is there, and it's so important when you're working with people. I like to work with people who are very humble, very nice, and you can just have a laugh with. And he's super, super, super talented, like ridiculously talented.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
I love working with him.
And he's been grafting for a long time. I've known him since he was a young boy, as a starting out producer, and I've seen him really come along. So he's got a whole heap of talent that is yet to be kind of uncovered as well. So it's really nice that the two of you have found that synergy. I'm going to play a little game with you in just a minute, Bambi. But before I do that, somebody mentioned you've come a long way since Disney up here. Now, what does that mean?
I haven't even been reading the comments.
No, I just saw it now. I just wondered what that connection was. Were you ever on Disney or do anything for Disney?
No, I auditioned for the Aladdin film and that's about it. I've never been in Disney.
Oh, so somebody must have been there with you at the same time.
Maybe they'll take me on for Bambi.
Maybe.
I'll be a little reindeer.
Bambi playing Bambi. Brilliant. Yeah. That's fantastic. All right, listen. So I'm going to play the song in just a little while. But as I mentioned to you earlier, I decided to kind of make it, because we've spoken a few times, I thought I'd flip this up, right, a little bit. So the song was released on the 4th of March 2021, which if you break it down is 4321, which I thought, by the way, was genius. So whoever was behind that was very, very clever. So I thought I'd put together a game called 4321. So I'm going to mention words, just words, and you have to give me a rating from 4321 to your association with that word, all right? So 4 being the highest and 2 being the lowest. It's really straightforward. Just the first thing that comes to mind. I'm going to keep it simple, right? And it might get a little bit more complicated for you to have a think about, but just try and give me your first instinct. 4 the highest, 1 the lowest, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bambi Bains, are you ready?
Yes, I think so.
High fashion.
High fashion?
Yep.
3.
3? Oh, I was quite surprised by that. Politics.
1.
Desi Khana.
4.
Loungewear.
Loungewear would be 3.
Marriage.
4.
Ooh, interesting. Boris Johnson.
2.
Recycling.
4. Oh my God, I'm so...
Are you super recycling mad, yeah?
Super. I wash everything, I dry it, and I put it all away.
Wicked.
I need to save the planet.
Feminism.
The highest 4.
The highest 4. Bindia.
3.
Oh, okay, so you like Bindia, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
4.
Fun fairs. Don't know why I chose that.
4.
You like fun fairs?
Fun fairs.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I'm wicked.
Bhangra.
4.
Bollywood.
3.
3? Oh, okay, cool. For some reason, I felt like you weren't really that engaged with the world of Bollywood, but not maybe musically. That's why I was kind of looking at it from that point of view. That was very interesting.
Yeah, I like it. But I guess I'm more into Bhangra.
Tell me what the dream is, Bambi, before I let you go. The ultimate dream. I know I've asked you this each time we've spoken about it, but I feel like it changes with you each time because you progress with each song and in each kind of release. So tell me what the dream is now. What's the next step for Bambi? Are you going to break it to that kind of... Are you going to start having your own products and your own lines, or is music the kind of focus?
Music is definitely the number one focus for now. I guess with everything else, there will be hopefully some things coming out, maybe some beauty products. I've been working into branding and everything so far, but I'm not going to say too much yet. And it's too early yet.
Make sure you come to me first, man.
I will do. I'll give you some makeup, darling.
I look forward to it. Bambi, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. Congratulations on this wonderful track. The progression is phenomenal to watch, particularly over the last couple of years as an artist. And the visuals for this song, let me tell you, it has blown me away. And I think your team that made this video, if you want to give them a shout as well, please do, because it really is quite class.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Sats, my partner, for making this all happen. Big Bounce, the whole team, and obviously Shay, who's been amazing in the studio, been an absolute vibe. Mushad, who was the director of the video, and just everyone who was there and supporting, and all the radio stations. Just everyone who's involved in supporting.
Wicked. Bambi, it's always a pleasure. Give my love to the family and to Satch and everyone, and hopefully very soon we might even be able to physically have you in the studio, fingers crossed. It looks like we're coming out the other end of this, so fingers crossed, let's make it happen. All the very best with this song and the release and everything else that you do in the coming months and years, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And for a slightly different flavour, catch Ameet Chana between 7am and 10am on Breakfast at weekends.
This is Anila Dhami on Sunday.
I'm interviewing Caroline Nokes, Chair of the Women and Equalities Committee and Conservative MP for Romsey and Southampton North. Good morning, MP Nokes.
Morning, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Many thanks for joining us this morning. I want to put to you first, I spoke to the Women's Equality Party leader, Mandu Reid, and she said that this budget by the Chancellor is a sexist budget, that the 1% increase for nurses is actually a pay cut, and that women are collateral damage in the economic recovery. What do you make of that?
Well, the Women and Equality Select Committee produced a report a few weeks ago now, which had looked at the gendered economic impact. And I think Mandu is right to say that there's very clearly been a significant impact upon women that my committee was calling on the Chancellor to take steps to address. Now, I think it's fair to comment that there were some bits and pieces in the budget that will be good for women, but also I'd like to see him have gone further. I would have liked to have seen him do more for the hair and beauty industry. I've always been quite candid that I think they should have had a VAT break, the same as hospitality. I would have liked to see places set aside for women in some of the retraining programs, so things like Kickstart, the Lifetime Skills Guarantee. I think there's going to be a real need to make sure that women who are disproportionately represented in those sectors which have been shut down for longest, so the non-essential retail, for example, that we know the high street's going to be changed irrevocably. So let's look at those women who will need to be steered into new careers, new job opportunities, and think, well, can we prioritise them for some of the schemes that are already out there? Because I think it's absolutely crucial that we don't see women's employment opportunities flip back to something akin to the 1950s.
And I want to touch on the beauty business because so many have been impacted during the pandemic. And yet Boris Johnson, when he announced the reopening of personal care services, there's the laughter in the House of Commons and by people on the benches, laughter by the men there when it comes to, oh, yes, and you can go and get your hair cut. When women have been, they're at the forefront of these industries, many have been impacted so badly. Beauty businesses for women were one of the last to open up. Men's grooming opened up much quicker than women's beauty businesses. Doesn't that infuriate you to see the people in your party laughing when Boris Johnson announces such a thing as personal care opening up?
It drives me absolutely mad. This is big business, £28 billion into the economy annually, 300,000 jobs, well over 90% of which are women. And I always say this, that very often you'll get young women trained to be a beautician, they'll get their first job in a salon, they'll work really hard, they then might set up on their own as a mobile beautician or a mobile hairdresser, then go and rent premises, so putting money back into the economy, set up their own salon, employ other people. These are not small businesses. These are not silly little women. These are entrepreneurs. They're female business leaders who are so inspiring and so determined and hardworking. And over the course of the last 12 months now, I've been saying that these are hygienic, safe businesses. They are people who have put in place additional measures to make them more COVID secure. And it drove me mad last summer when you were seeing all over Twitter and Instagram pictures of barbers doing weird things like nose waxing, spreading eyebrows of men, because nobody had thought to say you can't do that. So they said it to the women, to the female beauty sector, no, that all of that wasn't allowed, but not to the male sector. And so I thought that just struck me as a gross unfairness. I mean, I was pleased that the sector will be entitled to larger grants, recognising the fact that last year they were closed down for longer, that they've in many instances, and I think of some of my local salons that have had to take out chairs, that have had to introduce gaps between appointments, so that there's a distance between customers, so that they've got time to clean down and make sure that everything is absolutely sanitised. But I do think that this is a sector that people have overlooked, and stupidly so. I'm really conscious that these are brilliant, hard-working entrepreneurs, and if we don't support them, they end up at the doors of the job centre, and that is the last place that we can afford for them to be.
And of course, you're really vocal. I mean, it's apparent and clear to hear for anyone listening how passionate you are about this. I just wonder, why is Boris Johnson, your leader, not listening to you when you're on the Women and Equalities Committee? Everything you're saying is making absolute sense. Are you banging your head against a brick wall when it comes to your party and trying to implement these measures and raise your voice?
So I'm going to take you back to the International Women's Day theme for this year, Choose to Challenge. And I spend every day of my life choosing to challenge things that I see as being unfair, as injustice, and simply not right. I know that I have a platform. I'm very lucky to have a platform that I can use, and I will use and will keep using. And sometimes people listen to what I'm saying, going, you know what, she does make sense. And other times they go, oh, she's talking rubbish again. But I have a voice, and I know that there are, I was going to say hundreds of thousands, there are millions of women out there who don't have a voice, who don't think that they're being listened to. So if I can channel their thoughts to the Prime Minister and across government, then I'm always going to do that. And, you know, with age and experience comes a willingness to speak out. And I'm not afraid to do that. And sometimes it makes me hideously unpopular. And sometimes I get an email inbox that is absolutely flooded with people who say, you know what, thank you for saying that. Somebody had to.
And you touched on the digital aspect as well, and the government's created a good small business digital skills plan, but how will it ensure that it's female friendly?
So a lot of my concerns relate back to language, tone, attitude. We saw a few months ago a really unfortunate digital advert put out by the government that showed women in stereotypical roles. So they were doing the ironing, they were doing the homeschooling, they were doing the cooking, the cleaning, you name it. And that really frustrates me. We have to make sure that we are championing what women can do, what women can get involved in, which in the language that they respond to and they welcome. And I'm going to hold up an example. So BT Openreach have been absolutely determined in not only making sure that a proportion of their new engineer recruits are women, but also advertising roles in a way that appeals to women. So instead of saying you have to be able to fulfil these following 10 criteria, they've really emphasised that there will be training to enable you to fulfil the required criteria. There will be on-the-job learning. There's been a real emphasis around flexible working. And I think it's absolutely crucial that all companies kind of look at that as a role model.
MP Nokes, the Secretary of State for International Trade, Liz Truss, has called for flexible working to be normalised, giving employees the option for part-time or flexible work from home and job shares. Do you think that actually that needs to be legalised? Because the research found that actually having flexible working on job applications increases job apps by 30%.
So I think Liz is absolutely right. It has to be normalised. I'm also calling for it to be a legal right from day one. So at the moment, you can ask your employer for flexible working once you've been there for 6 months. I think it should be much more automatic than that. And I would love to see a culture of job sharing moving forward. And we know there are additional costs to employers for having job shares in terms of national insurance, etc. And that could be one way to make it more attractive to employers to reduce that national insurance burden, recognising that you are enabling two people to fulfil a role instead of just one. And I think it absolutely is the way forward. I think the pandemic, if you're going to take any positives from it at all, it has to be that we have learned that we can work effectively remotely, that we don't have to be present in person for meetings. We all know that you can do it all perfectly well over Zoom, Teams, other platforms also available. And I think that we need to see the government actively encouraging employers moving forward to say, you know, what did you learn during the pandemic that you can implement for the long term?
And one thing I do want to ask you, because I know many people listening, I've said it a few times, that women are so crucial to economies and countries prospering. But just talk us through how, you know, some of the figures and stats. Why are women so crucial? Because, you know, for some people listening, they might be thinking we're just marking International Women's Day and talking about women and, you know, it's just a one-off thing. But actually, in the long term and the bigger picture, women are crucial to economies thriving.
Women are absolutely vital to economies thriving. We know that we went into the pandemic this time last year with female employment at a record high. And it's absolutely vital that we get back to that because we are contributing to the exchequer. We are enabling businesses to thrive and grow and succeed. And I think now feels like a very negative time, but actually we have to build back better. We have to make sure that women get their rightful place in the employment market, that all of those work coaches in job centres are psyched up to find women new roles, perhaps in non-stereotypical sectors. And I think that's the big challenge. We have to get more women into STEM roles, into engineering, into science. We have to make sure that the opportunities that have always been there for men, that there are no barriers to women. And whether that's about flexible working, whether that's about understanding that women may well have different and additional responsibilities in childcare, in caring for elderly relatives, but actually that can all be perfectly easily accommodated in the world of work, provided you're prepared to think about it creatively.
And just finally, yesterday, the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, announced that on International Women's Day, the Department for Health and Social Care will launch a call for evidence to improve women's health and well-being to develop a new women's health strategy. What will this look like?
Well, so the consultation will undoubtedly steer what the final strategy will look like. My response to the call for evidence is, thank goodness, about time too. We know that women's health priorities have been put on a back burner during the pandemic, and that's not acceptable. We know that women are waiting longer for things like reconstruction surgery after mastectomies. We know that there are real problems in obs and gynae. We know that they haven't been able to take their partners into scans or at the start of the pandemic, not even allowed to have them for the early stages of labour. So it's really, really important that we get a full picture of what has been happening, and also some of the historic issues around female health, female reproductive health. And I was reading a really interesting comment from one of the health ministers that was talking about the number of men that are involved in clinical trials and on things like, nutrition in pregnancy. And you're looking at going, why do you have a man involved in that trial? Because it's obvious that maternal nutrition is something that is only going to be affecting expectant mothers. And so it's absolutely crucial that the government has launched this call for evidence celebrating International Women's Day, and that we get some really positive outcomes. And certainly everything that I've heard, both from current health ministers and former health ministers, is that they're determined to get this done. And I'm really, really appreciative of that.
Caroline, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Tune in every Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Anila Dhami on Sunday, giving the British Asian community a voice on the matters of the day.
The UK's biggest Asian mix. Sunrise Radio.
It is time for our beautiful single to get flirty at 8:30. They are on the phone right now, and we are about to get them on. Hold on, wait. Technical glitch. Hold on. Stay there. Do not go anywhere. Abhi, are you there?
Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
All good. We have a lovely single person. Now, she's ready to get flirty at 8:30, but let me tell you what that means. Now, this lovely person is single and looking for love. And if there's anyone out there that likes the sound of Abhi, we're going to introduce her properly in a minute. Then what you do is drop me a message on WhatsApp. Say the number is 07925 700 272. And if you like the sound of her, let me know and I will try and connect you guys up. And I want to have the first ever sunrise wedding as well. So... I know you could, Abhi. It could be you. I
know, right?
I feel like thinking. Yes, I feel like that. I feel like that lottery announcer. It could be you.
Yeah, I've got a good feeling.
So listen. Anyway, this is Abhi. Abhi, tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and roughly. You don't have to tell everyone your age if you don't want to, but just say like approximately the age of the person you're looking for.
Okay. Hi, I'm Abhi, which is short for Abipsa. I live in High Wycombe. I've only just turned 40, but I'm still 25 at heart. I'm looking for someone maybe 38 to about 45. Someone with a good heart, someone who's loyal, someone who can make me laugh.
I was just about to ask you. You took the words right out of my mouth. The kind of person who would be your soulmate. Who are they? Like, get flirty with us right now. The kind of person who would sweep you off your feet. What kind of person would they be?
So, guys, if you want to do a 6-day next Monday, let's fly to Rome. Well, maybe not next Monday because we're part of a pandemic, but as soon as we can. Let's go. Let's get on that plane. Let's go and do a date like they did in Friends, right?
Yeah, why not, right? I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. However, in between now and until we can fly, I'm happy to meet you guys for a lovely brisk walk. Make sure it's not too hilly, though, because my legs might not be able to take it.
Fair enough, right? Okay, cool. No problem at all. There we go. A bit of detail there for you, gentlemen, right? An ideal first date for Abhi would be to take her to Rome. After the pandemic, of course. She's not that demanding, I promise you. But anyway, a second question to you as well. Tell us one fun thing about you. Like, why are you the coolest, most amazing human being on planet Earth that anyone would be very lucky to be able to date you?
I don't laugh at my own jokes.
She said while giggling.
I'm a very loyal, kind person. Everyone in my family and friends can vouch for me. I won't let you down. I will always stand by your side. And yeah, let's go and build that life together, right? It doesn't have to be in Rome. We can just go to the local cafe. It's not a problem.
Fair enough. I like that. That's so sweet. Bless you. I think you've presented yourself very, very well. And a question for you as well, right? What would you cook for someone on a first date? Like, what special dish would you cook for someone on a first date?
Definitely not spaghetti. I would say burritos.
Doritos?
Burritos.
Oh, burritos. I thought Doritos. That's a crisp, right? Ladies and gentlemen, she'd just open you a bag of crisps and then that would be it. She'd be like, here, have some of these.
We'll have some burritos with hot and spicy salsa.
Ah.
Spicy jalapeno.
Is that because the date would get a little bit hot and spicy?
Yeah. Then we'll have some cheesy nachos.
Nice.
Chocolate fudge cake for dessert.
Nice. I like it. So what I'm going to say to all that's my 3 questions to you. Anything else you want to share before we put it out there to the lads?
Stop hiding. I know you're out there. Don't be shy and just get in touch with Amit so we can just get this show on the road and have the first sunrise wedding.
Yeah, I love it. I hope you are the first sunrise wedding. That would be so cool. Right, so to all the gentlemen out there between the ages of 38 and 45, if you're kind of like, I guess, probably sort of West London, just outside West London based, that would be ideal. Get in touch. Drop me a WhatsApp right now to all the single men out there aged between 38, 45, sort of West London or just outside West London based. Drop me a WhatsApp right now, 07925 700 272. And what I will do, if you are suitable for our Abhi here, then I will set you guys up or get you to exchange email addresses, and then you guys can set up a first date where you could apparently have hot and spicy salsa burritos and possibly Doritos maybe as well. Who knows what else could be on that first date? Abhi, any kind of other thing, last thing as well, that you want to tell everyone about you in terms of what you like, what you don't like?
There's not a lot of things that I don't like. I'm very open-minded. I come from a very liberal family. Just really, really, really ready to kind of take the next step in my life and find that special someone. And also, a bit of backbone. Go out as couples and have some fun, and let's build a life together.
Right.
Don't be shy.
I think that's amazing. I love it. Abhi, thank you so much for taking part. You have been a superstar. Thank you for getting flirty at 8:30.
Catch our love guru, Amit Sodha, between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. every Sunday for that chill out zone.